Alright, y'all. Welcome back to the Hear Me Out podcast in association with True Hall of Fame Builds. I'm your host, Michael May. I'm gonna give it a few more minutes. Let some more people run up in the building. We're gonna do this the right way. Hope everybody's doing well. Today I realized, man, I've been going hard for y'all in the paint. I've been going hard in the paint. And I can't even lie. I've been going hard in the paint. My numbers show it too. But I'm grateful for y'all, man. Shout out to everybody in the building. Nice and early. I'm just getting all the notifications out. Hope everybody's doing well. Shout out to everybody already in the building. I'm just giving it a couple of seconds, letting everybody get in here. I do apologize to those who hit me and they're like, yo, I'm always getting it late. So I'm gonna start giving y'all guys a few more minutes, I'll give like 30 more seconds and then we'll start. 5 minutes. 5 minutes ain't gonna hurt. 30 seconds more, I'm gonna get started. 30 seconds more, I'm gonna get started. But today we're gonna talk, y'all. Today we're gonna have a conversation. Cause a lot of people are starting to say and talk the way I've been hearing me talk for the past week. Alright, there it goes. Let's get started. Alright, y'all. So y'all already know what time it is, man. He goes, facts, Unc. You've been grinding. Like, listen, man. I gotta grind. So y'all guys already know what time it is, man. Thank you for being here. To Hear Me Out podcast, in association with True Hall of Fame. So as we always start every single stream, if you're new here, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button. Channel notifications. For those on the playback, you hit the like button too. As I always like to start, the parties that we're gonna speak about today, everybody is innocent until proven guilty, not guilty until proven innocent. I'm not on the side of Diddy. I'm not on the side of the US. I am on the side of the law. As long as we stick to those facts, we should be good. For those who do have access who have access to the chat, let's be respectful. Let's have a respectful conversation. As I said yesterday, no one is to say anybody's name, Jane Doe's name. Even if we're gonna assume who it is, we're not assuming on this channel. Listen, y'all, I'm gonna say it again. And it's funny, y'all. I said it yesterday, and now a lot of content creators are doing the same thing, which is fine. Listen, y'all, I keep telling y'all, I know people watch me. So listen, as I stated yesterday, we're not gonna assume no one's name. We're not saying no names in my comment section. Thank you, Go. I appreciate that. Do not say anyone's name from the trial. Do not send any links. You will get blocked automatically. I don't care if it's my mom. I'm blocking you. Don't troll. We're not trolling. We want to get information out. So y'all already know what time it is, man. So I want to dive right into the first thing. So y'all know I'm gonna go through different videos and we're gonna speak on it. So shout out to Willie D, right? So some would say, yo, what's going on? Some will say, yo, true. You said that last week. Yes. People, you're going to hear a lot of content creators say things that I've already said. It's only because most people have never dealt with the court system. Most people don't know what it is to be in criminal court. So they don't really understand what to look for. But nonetheless, we're going to dive right into it because I want y'all to hear Willie say something that you already heard me say, but it's important to hear other big content creators like Willie. Got over 1 million subscribers. Shout out to Willie D, man. Much love and respect to you, man. Fair use. But I want you to hear him say something that you guys been hearing me say for quite some time. But like I said, I like to give love and show love to people that aren't afraid to speak up on the truth. So let's dive right into this, man. Shout out to Willie, man.
That she took the witness stand in a court of law and admitted the only reason why she stayed with Diddy was because of the money.
Now, some of y'all are saying, why did you start from the beginning? Because in the beginning, he makes an assumption of who Jane Doe is, and I don't want no parts of that. That's for other channels to deal with it, however they're going to deal with it. Me, I'm choosing not to deal with it. Though I may have my beliefs, I'm not going down that rabbit hole. You feel what I'm saying? So we're going to continue to dive right in. So he's speaking about Jane Doe in the public court saying that she's only with Diddy for the money.
Because he was paying her rent. It shocks her credibility. Yeah, with me. I know some of y'all, y'all got an excuse, man. Y'all keep them excuses on standby.
Right.
Not me. I do believe that there are responsible young women out there. I do believe that there are young, responsible women out there who are as young as 18, 19 years old.
Yep.
20, 21 years old, 22 years old.
Yep.
Who knows when they are dealing with a toxic man. And it don't matter how old he is, they know to stay the hell away from that man.
Yep.
I do believe that there are young, educated, common sense women out there.
Now, I'm happy that Willie started the conversation with that. Because, ladies, a lot of y'all tend to think that we choosing Diddy's side, and we're really not. What it is this. Men are getting tired of women using "I was young" as an excuse. Ladies, saying I was young and dumb is not an excuse. And because of that, what's happening is this. From what I've been seeing since day 2, the prosecution's case is falling apart by the seams because, and I was able to see it because, people, you can't have somebody fighting for his life, right? You can't have somebody fighting for their life on trial and turn around, hit the like button, y'all, hit the like button. You hit the like button, it tells YouTube you like what I'm doing, and they get more folks in the building. More notifications go out. Come on, we got 26. We got 5 likes. Let's get the likes up, y'all. Hit the like button if you ain't ready to hit it. So hear me. So what tends to happen is this. Everybody's excuse so far that has come to this testimony or came for the prosecution, everybody's excuse is, I was young. People, that cannot be everybody's excuse. I was young, I was naive, I was immature, I wasn't smart enough, I wasn't capable, my frontal interlobe esophagus muscle wasn't developed. People, that cannot be everybody's excuse. Why? Because that same excuse does not apply for the men. Because, you ready? Look at the Garcia guy, who was the security guard. They're like, oh yeah, he's saying he was a young man. People, we cannot say a 24-year-old man who chose to take money from Diddy he's immature. We can't say that. See, and here's the problem. Why? Because look at the other examples that we have in life. Beyonce was 18 when she met Jay-Z, 19 when they started dating. Look how mature she is. Look how mature she is. You see, the same way women always want to use the excuse that I was young and I was dumb, there are women who were young and they were smart. So to the women who are young and smart, I salute you. Thank you for not making excuses for yourself. Thank you for being accountable for yourself. And for you, I appreciate you. The rest of y'all, I don't care about y'all, because I respect the woman that takes responsibility for herself. Cause ready? People, watch this. Watch this. If there's any lady who has the balls, who's watching this right now, please comment in the comment section when I ask this question. Watch this. Ladies, if you know Elon Musk, put a 1 in the chat. Only for the ladies who are watching me that got the balls. If you got a super chat, $1.50, just let me know that you in the building. If you know who Elon Musk is, if you know who Donald Trump is, put a 1 in the chat. Let's just see. Let's just see if cause some women have balls. Let's be clear, some women have the cojones. He goes, you are responsible for yourself over 18. You're an adult. Now, if we can make that universal that everybody understands, Aiden, then we wouldn't have no problem. But you see, the problem is this. We charge Carmelo Anthony for taking this young man's life on the football court, and he's 17 years old. We're charging him as an adult, but then we want to say Cassie, who was 21, is a child. See, this is where I have a problem. Okay, so now no woman wants to respond. I guess no one wants that target on their back. No problem. Okay, now watch this. Here's my thing. Watch this. Fellas, if you know Donald Trump, if you know Elon Musk, and if you know Diddy, put a 1 in the chat. If you can't hit the like button, y'all. I'm gonna show y'all guys something. Watch. I'm gonna show you something. Once I get 3 1s, you're gonna see. I'm gonna move on to the next part of the question. Watch this. Cause people don't wanna admit this part. They don't wanna admit this one part here. Ready? How many of us know that all of them have money? Put a 2 in the chat. You see, hear me out, y'all. Every woman knows who Diddy is. Every woman knows who Puffy is. Women know the men who have the money. So because you're choosing to deal with these men, we're not giving you no scapegoat. She was young. She was immature. Her frontal interlobe esophagus developing. Her nostril cycle wasn't developed. Her nostril glands. I don't want to hear shit about that. I don't want to hear that at all. That is not an excuse. But let's keep rocking and rolling. Listen to this man.
Who know?
Oh shit. Well, he don't say her name.
Advantage of. Who knows what somebody put their hands on them the very first time to seek help, to retreat to safety. I know that for 22 years old or 19, y'all, some of y'all say, yeah, 22 years old. How is it that a man can be 22 years old or 19? Y'all, some of y'all say, you know, Diddy started messing with her when she was 19 and she was just, her mind was underdeveloped. Okay, her mind is underdeveloped.
Now hear me. See it, and that's another thing, y'all. I have to keep reminding y'all. Hit the like button, y'all. I have to keep reminding y'all. Diddy met Cassie at 19. Yes. People gotta stop saying Diddy got with Cassie at 19. Y'all need to stop saying that. Shout out to Miss Pretty Lady. Shout out to you. Thank you for having the balls, for showing the world that you here. I'm gonna be respectful and classy, but I'm gonna keep it 1,000. Why is everybody saying Diddy was with Cassie when she was 19? But Cassie took the stand and said, I didn't kiss Diddy for the first time till 21 in Las Vegas on her birthday. So people, who do you believe? What everybody else is saying, or the testimony that Cassie gave? Because you would think that she would know when she first kissed Diddy, right? When she first, and then she says she didn't get into a relationship with Diddy till she was 22. So are you gonna believe the press, who wants to keep trying to change that number to make you feel some kind of way? Because it sounds a little worse. 19 versus 21. It sounds worse. Leave it up to Gene Deal. Diddy knew her at 16. He was grooming her since 16. Like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. That dumbass shit. Cause Ryan Leslie didn't even know of her. She wasn't even out that long. Fucking these guys is dumb as fuck. But anyway, listen, y'all. Make Mrs. Pretty Lady feel welcome. We have a woman in the chat who's willing to show herself. Shout out to her. Yeah, she did what she wanted to do. Bottom line, right? Let's keep listening. Hit the like button, y'all.
A woman's mind is underdeveloped. And we've been saying for years how fast a woman learns before men do. We all have agreed throughout the years, at least when it's convenient, that women mature at a faster rate than men.
Now, fellas, how many times you heard me say it in the morning when I have man talk? By the way, y'all, I have man talk in the morning, Monday through Fridays now. How many times y'all hear me say, isn't it crazy that they say women mature faster than men, right? But then when it's convenient, oh, her frontotemporal esophagus, her eye sockets are not developed yet, so she can't properly make the. Do you see how, people, do you not see how stupid that sounds? So women mature faster than men, but when it comes to intercourse, oh no, they're not smart enough yet. They're not smart enough. See, I don't play those games. You see, those are the games that I don't play here. I don't play those games on this channel. I don't play those games on this channel. Now, I'm not on Diddy's side. I'm not on the US side. I am on the side of the law. So according to the law, an 18-year-old is legal. Some could say that legal thing is weird. Okay, ready? Don't say nothing. I told you guys. Because in New York City, the legal age of consent just changed in 2017 to 17 years old. And most New Yorkers don't even know that. They don't even know that. But I told you. He goes, now I told you, shout out. I told you, wait until they change the law where they remove the age of consent and remove it to the time of consent. Y'all gonna be in trouble. Because if a 15-year-old girl wants to deal with a 25, 30-year-old man and she gives consent, people, who remembers the video I showed you with Mia Long, where Mia Long said, yeah, I was dating a 30-year-old when I was 15 in high school and my mom was okay with it. When they remove the age of consent till the time of consent, don't say nothing. because y'all playing, ladies. I'm sorry, not Mrs. Pretty Lady, but ladies, I'm sorry, y'all play a dangerous game. Oh, I'm 19, Shannon Sharp. The girl's on OnlyFans, but I'm innocent. I'm 19. Why does this older man want to deal with me? I'm only 19, but she could be on OnlyFans and be nude. Stop. Let's see. And this is, fellas, now I'm gonna tell you this. Hear me out. This is one reason why a lot of women have a hard time digesting me, because not every woman is logical. There are some women who are logical thinkers and can understand, and there are just some who just choose to be delusional. It's a choice. Shout out to Lady. But let's keep listening, y'all.
Right? Mine ain't fully developed, but you can send a woman to war. A woman can buy cigarettes. She can get on the road and get behind the wheel of a vehicle, which can be used as a weapon.
By the way, the snapping you hear, shout out to Myron. I learned it's not on me. That's their videos. So I'm just letting y'all guys know.
She can buy
Nick, what up?
If she go out and rob somebody, she's gonna be held accountable. If she kills somebody, she's gonna be held accountable. If she have a baby at a young age, if she's a teen mother, she gonna get shunned. She's gonna be looking at her crazy like, no, you did it, you take care of it. It's everything held accountable for everything except her choice in men and sex.
I'll say it again, fellas. The only time a woman is not smart enough, she's not independent, she can do what a man can do, the only time that does not apply is when it comes to the men that they choose. Girl, you don't need no man. Go get that corporate job. She should do it like a man. Everything is she could do it like a man. Until it comes to picking that man, she's immature. I'm telling you, this is crazy. This is crazy to me.
Especially when it's the older man. I'm not buying it, fam. I'm not buying it. I do believe that all of these women's moves were calculated. Starting with Cassie. How she left Ryan Leslie to hook up with Diddy. She had a good dude by all accounts. You ain't nobody heard nothing about Ryan Leslie throwing freak-offs and beating up women in hotels and blowing up boyfriend cars, being a suspect in multiple murders and high-profile murders. Ain't nobody heard about Ryan Leslie owing somebody publishing,
right,
bankrupting his artist. But she left that man. She left that man, a good man, for a bad boy.
Now, I do gotta say this. I understand now. I understand what he's saying, but I can now. Yes, her leaving Ryan Leslie for his man, Diddy. It is wrong, but I still can't fault women, fellas. I always tell you here on this channel, we don't blame women for their natural nature. It is in a woman's nature. Hypergamy is her natural nature. Listen, women want to be with a strong man, a provider man, a man who can cultivate them, they can learn something from. Sometimes a woman leaving a certain kind of man for a different kind of man, it's natural. It's in there. We fellas on this channel, we don't fault women for their natural nature. Now, is it foul that Ryan Leslie was Diddy's man? Yes. That's foul. Cassie should have known better. The same way how Jane Doe, she should have known better, because her girlfriend was dating Diddy first. So we gotta spread the blame around. But like I always say, here on this channel, we don't blame natural nature. Ladies, on this channel, we tell men we don't blame women for their natural nature, which is hypergamy. So we expect y'all not to blame men for our natural nature, which is non-monogamy. Being monogamous is not natural for a man. We'll get into that in another stream. We'll have that, because I will prove it to y'all. Being monogamous is not natural for a man. So, like I said, we're gonna get into in another live stream. Y'all guys know I am a man of y'all. I'm a man of the Most High. I am a man of God. I do practice polygyny the biblical way. But here on this channel, we keep it 1,000. Everything I say, I got the proof to back it up. So I'm ready for whatever challenge anybody want to throw at me. So I want y'all guys to be ready for that. But let's keep on talking about this case. Let's keep going.
And y'all really want to make excuses for her? Nah. And you know, let's keep it a buck, fam. I know some of y'all ain't gonna like what I'm saying, but I'll take my chances.
Yep.
Some of y'all only supporting Cassie and riding for Cassie because Cassie is attractive. That's absolutely true. If Cassie was one of those big backs with a crooked lace front, you wouldn't be riding for Cassie like that. You wouldn't even care. In fact, you'd be judging.
Yo.
I don't believe it. Her now. Brother didn't do that. Diddy wouldn't hook up with her. Like, ooh, yuck. You know? Oh.
He ain't lying. He not lying. Cause I know a lot of guys who are like, Cassie's so beautiful. Why would she could be with anybody. Why would she want to be with Diddy? Cause she knew what comes along with being with Diddy. The money, the fame, the stardom, the lifestyle. Come on. We gotta stop capping. We not lying. We don't lie over here, man.
Because she's cute and because she ain't really black, right? See, I know. I'm not saying all of y'all feel that way because of what I'm saying, but I'm saying there's a great deal of people out there that do feel that way because of those facts.
Yep.
There are some people that do feel that way. This Jane Doe was saying she asked Diddy for $10,000 a week.
A month.
She said 10,000. They didn't clarify. At least I didn't hear them clarify. Is that 10,000 a week or 10,000 a month? I think
it's a month. It's a month.
It was 10,000 a month. And she didn't want to leave Diddy because of that. That is a calculated, rational choice.
What did you hear me say yesterday? For a woman to say, cool, give me an allowance, 15,000. So she negotiated. Diddy was like, how much you want a month? She said 15,000. He said, I'll give you 10. She said, bet. And then she's taking the stand against Diddy. People, y'all not watching the trial the way I'm watching this, B. And I'm happy that people with big channels like Willie D is able to speak up, because I can't be the only person that's not afraid to speak out against these things. Thing is that I've been saying this for like 3 weeks already, and people are starting to catch on. But let's keep listening.
That she made. She knew Diddy wasn't right. This is by her account, based on what she said, based on how Diddy was. He wasn't a good person, but she stayed with him for the money. What kind of person does that make her? She do not get a pass.
Nope.
No way, man.
Nope.
She don't get a pass. And then she act like she didn't enjoy the freak-offs that she was having. And she said that she was just trying to please Diddy and she was high. When's the last time a man get to use an excuse that he was high? This is why he violated somebody. Or this is why he stayed with a woman.
People, you do know there are certain things that I did not play on this channel because I don't want to get tagged. But y'all do know that y'all seen the video yesterday that I got a little scared of. I wasn't expecting the lady to do the gesture that she did. She was looking at she would watch Prawn with Diddy and say, what about him? She was people, she was picking the guys off the TV. Like, what about him? Oh, you want that? Diddy saying, yo, you want that, D? And she's like, yeah, sure. Yo. But y'all think that this isn't gonna hurt the prosecution? Listen. Y'all play too much, man. Y'all play too much. Let's do this. I want to jump right into this one. So this was her first video in the morning, right? Shout out to Tissa Tails. People, I want y'all to listen. Now y'all guys know I'm not really a fan of Tissa Tails. Tissa Tails is a pro-feminist. She is biased. She don't care. She wants to see Diddy go down. She doesn't care about the truth. Now, I'm going to say this again. All parties are innocent until proven guilty, not guilty until proven innocent. Diddy's on trial for extortion, racketeering, and trafficking. So far, I haven't seen any of those things be proved. All I have seen is that Diddy's a nasty nigga, and that Diddy, DV is definitely a part of his DNA. That's what he is guilty of, but that is not what he is on trial for. So let's keep going. I want y'all to hear this.
Tube streets, y'all. Jane Doe has done it. Jane Doe has done the damn thing with Diddy, and she did what Cassie couldn't do. First of all, Diddy is out of his mind, and I'm not talking about the weird stuff he's into. Diddy is out of his mind, but Jane Doe has broken off. And what could be a landmark? She outlined how she did not have any control over her autonomy, any control over her body, the way Diddy used her. All I do want to know is with Jane Doe, we're going to call her Jeannie. All we do know with Jane Doe is the fact that Diddy was getting a bargain. Can somebody explain to me how?
All right, hold up. This is what I be saying to y'all about Tissa sensationalizes this entire. This is ridiculous. So she's like, she has no control over her body. Yo, Heavenly Father, give me the strength. All right.
How the SMEX workers were getting paid better than the girlfriends? And I use that term lightly. The SMEX workers were getting paid better than the girlfriends. She was doing all this stuff for $10K a month. Now, don't get me wrong, $10K a month is a lot, but not for what Diddy wanted. Y'all, let's get into this because Jane Doe did what Cassie.
I definitely pray the same. I hope and pray Tissa is never a judge, because she is so emotionally invested. People, here is the reason why I like to show you guys the difference between other people's reporting and mine's. This is the reason why y'all guys subscribe to this channel. People, in the evening time, I review all of Diddy's stuff. Subscribe to the channel, turn notifications. I do it in the evening time after all the dust settles. But now listen, y'all, listen. This was her first video of the day. Then I'm going to show you her second video. I want you to hear the difference. Listen.
Couldn't do. Cassie talked about things that happened years ago, okay? There's a lot of problems with evidence. You don't have the evidence, you don't have this, you don't have that. But what did Jane Doe do? She tied it to the present, and she tied it to its current operation. She admitted and showed us verifiable proof. And might I add, the prosecution is getting a spreadsheet. They have the phone records, they have the flight records, they have the credit card receipts. They have everything, right? They have everything. She admitted to being Diddy's mule. Diddy's mule, that is a predicate offense for RICO. Not only is Jane Doe, right? Not only is Jane Doe a victim, but she was also Diddy's mule, and she named...
People, listen. So remember, Jane Doe is a victim, but she's negotiating her price with Diddy, how much he's gonna pay her a month. See, and this is why people are speaking about Tissa. How now? I'm not gonna lie. Tissa has an audience. Her female audience is, yeah, girl, we take Diddy down. And now, fellas, I feel, listen, I would hate to be Tissa Tails if Diddy walks. Cause then it's gonna be, girl, you told us this. Girl, but you said this, that, this, that, and the third. See, she's reporting it with her female eye. She's not, mind you, people, hear me. Remember, who was there when I showed you guys? From the first week, I said, this woman Tissa's like, I'm not biased. Week 3, she got rid of that shit. Diddy's going down. See, people, hear me out. Y'all guys gotta understand, when I look at people talk, now, for those who don't know me, I'm no idiot. I was paid to go to school to study communications, to learn Arabic, public speaking. I'm pretty good at this. I went for a brief time to NYU. I'm no dummy. I want you to understand, I'm no dummy. So you're not just tuning in to somebody who's just a regular person. And also, I'm in the music industry. And also, I happen to have had the opportunity to write for Cassie 17 years ago. And I also showed the proof. The proof is also on the internet. So yes. So I am in a very different position than most people. So there are certain things that are said in the trial that I can say, I know that for a fact. Feel what I'm saying? So let's keep going. Watch.
Made her perform in his RICO act. She also named the co-conspirators. She named the co-conspirators that are going to either have to flip or testify on Diddy's behalf, okay? Esteban Conotes.
I'm gonna say this again. People, Tissa was the first one that said, why would Diddy offer somebody money if he wasn't guilty? For the same reason Shannon Sharp offered that young lady $10 million. Because I'm paying somebody doesn't mean I'm guilty. You're paying someone not to have to deal with the circus. But Shannon is doing it right. She didn't want the money, cool. Now let's fight for it. Now you're gonna fight me in court, and now I'm gonna make you look bad. Same thing how Diddy's doing. Hey, that's why once Cassie took the stand against Diddy, Diddy is suing Cassie for his money back for defamation of character. Because now I will say this, it looks like Diddy's gonna win that money back. Why? Because everybody that has touched the stand has made Cassie look horrible. Nobody made Cassie look good so far. So far, Cassie is the kingpin. She's the queen pin to Diddy's kingpin, if that's the case. But let's keep rocking and rolling. Now hear me. Tissa was one of the women that was saying things like, this is the nail in the coffin. This is the nail in the coffin. This is this. This is that. Let's keep listening, because you're going to hear some things before I switch it up.
I said, Yana. Now, I do want to say this, right? And this is just a woman. I know like Diddy's team want to be like, that's just what they did in their personal lives. That's just what they did. As a woman, you cannot convince me that there was a woman on earth that consistently, over almost 3 years, let you use and abuse her body like that, right?
Cassie did it. Young Miami did it. People, do you see what she is doing? Do you not see what she is doing? You cannot tell me that there is a woman that's gonna be okay. Cassie was okay with it. She left Diddy 3 different times and came back. Cassie, Young Miami, Gina, this girl here. What the fuck is she talking about? Shout out to the subscribers, man. Thank you guys for subbing up to the channel. I appreciate that, man. Let's keep making this channel grow. Thank you so much. People, are you not seeing this? Please tell me that I'm not the only one that's seeing this. As a woman, you mean to tell me that you don't know when your safety's at risk for you to leave? Huh? I'ma hit it with the Hulk Hogan. Huh? So as a woman, you don't know it's not safe for you to leave? So as a woman, watch this. This kills Tissa's whole argument. Cause she's like, as a woman, all right, I'm not a woman, but as a woman, I would know. Where is your integrity? Why are you sleeping with your girlfriend's man? That's your girlfriend's ex-man. Where's her integrity? Tissa, where is her integrity? Why are you blaming the man? Where is her integrity for knowing, nah, chill, that was my girl's man right there. But you know what? She knew who it was, and she knew it was Diddy. So her integrity went out the window. See, this is why she can't talk. He said Tissa just talks to talk. Now, I'm not trying to destroy Tissa's character. I'm destroying her arguments. I'm not attacking her. I'm attacking her arguments. Let's be clear. It's 2 different things. But now let's keep listening to this. Lady said crazy. She said that.
That can let you use or abuse your body like that. Listen, the potent ponderance that the prosecution is sick of the prostituting. They are. I do not believe. Jeannie said that she had to beg that ninja to let her use a condom. And these are all people that she thought were dirty, right? One person she described, it sounded like he just grabbed a homeless person off the street and said, here, put this in your mouth. And she was like, can I use it, whatever? And each time Diddy said no. Do men and women somehow think that because somebody is paying your rent, you are going to allow them consistently to have complete control of your body? On top of that, with Jane Doe, I do find her really...
Hold up. All right, Tissa, let's talk. Tissa, when you take the stand and say you used that you used to make lots of money off of social media, that's what she said in her testimony before the stand, and then went and took the stand and lied and said her only 2 forms of income was through child support and the money that Diddy was giving her. So were you making money before Diddy or you wasn't? See, these are lies. These are lies. And I was raised like this. One lie ruins 1,000 truths. That's the way I was raised. One lie can ruin 1,000 truths. Let's keep listening though.
really, really believable that she said, listen, at first, how you doing? At first, I was down with the rah-rah. At first, I was down with this. At first, I was down with that. But Jeannie actually came through, and she said, but then after that, she's like, I can't do this. She said she was always crying. She was always sick. But when they paint a picture, it's not, it's actually really sad. It's like, you thought you were in a relationship, Jane Doe. Victim number 2 thought she had a boyfriend. Victim number 2 thought she had somebody that loved her. Victim number 2 didn't realize that you were
People, listen to the next lie. People, are you listening? Why is she lying to the people? Cassie, before Cassie came into the picture, Gina was there. Cassie couldn't stand Gina. Diddy told every single woman, I am not going to be monogamous to you. You are to me, but I will have more than one woman. People, if I tell a woman that, now like I said, Diddy's practicing polygamy, I practice polygyny, and I want to be clear, it's two very different things, right? Because polygamy is the main reason why polygyny can't be legalized, because you got niggas like Diddy, you got niggas like Drake, you got all these powerful dudes wanting to flush through all these women. But polygyny, which is a man with multiple wives, that's different. A man practicing polygyny is about responsibility. It's a little different, but even then, you are informing the women that I have that y'all are sister wives. So it's a lot different. So now Diddy's now I will say this. Do I think that Diddy's even practicing polygamy in the wrong way? Yes, because the minute Diddy knew, because Cassie knew about Kim. Cassie knew Kim Porter was still in the picture. Cassie still dealt with Diddy. Cassie came out and said, I was jealous of Kim Porter because Diddy would always confess his love for her. She's the one for me. So she knew about all of the women. Now, yes. Now, the only thing I didn't blame Cassie for, and I publicly said this. I'm not biased. I said, okay, so Cassie was there for Kim. Cassie was there, and Gina was already there. Cool. Now, Diddy went and got Young Miami. Now, here's where I always said Diddy was practicing polygamy wrong. Because Diddy went and upped Young Miami, went and got her a TV show, went and... So I kind of understand. Scorn woman, I understand that. See, I may not agree, but I could still understand different sides of the story. But now hear me out. But then you have people that have come out and said Diddy did everything he could for Cassie. Everything for her career, he did everything. And people said what I said in the beginning of the trial. I said, Cassie got talent. She's just not talented. I even said that. Because when I had to write for her, I was given ABC instructions. I was given ABC instructions. So I already knew the kind of artist I was dealing with, right? So here's where Diddy went wrong. The minute Diddy knew Cassie, I'm not even talking about Kim. I'm not talking about the dead. Shout out to Kim Porter. The minute Diddy seen that Cassie and Gina didn't get along, Diddy was supposed to get rid of one of them. Because if it's one thing that I do know, it's either the women are gonna know when you're practicing polygamy. The women know that you're dealing with other women, but them publicly arguing with each other is a no-go. So Diddy didn't have that shit in order. So that's where this is where I'm saying that's where Diddy went wrong. Diddy should have said, "All right, look, either Cassie gotta go or this girl gotta go. Somebody gotta go, cause this needs to be in order, and y'all gonna respect the space of each other. Cause I'm not putting y'all in each other's faces, but y'all ain't gonna sit here and going back and forth arguing with each other on social media. If I was Diddy, I would have had my security guards bring each and every chick to one spot, and I said, you shut the fuck up, you shut the fuck up, you shut the fuck up. Listen to me. All this social media shit stops right now. If y'all don't want to comply, get the fuck out right now. Right the fuck. See, Diddy didn't have his shit in order. Cause one thing I will say is it does seem like there was some kind of favoritism. So that I do have to blame Diddy for. But to sit here and blame Diddy because women allowed themselves to be used in ways, I can't blame Diddy for that. I can't blame Diddy for that. And if you guys don't like what I'm saying, forgive me, I'm sorry. Maybe this channel ain't for you, but I gotta keep it thorough here. This is what I'm notorious for. They call me true, because everything I do is absolutely true here. I don't play those games, so let's keep rocking and rolling.
Also you were a SMEX worker, but you got paid the lowest. She said that at one point she was meeting like so often. Also, I want to know what's going on with the La Armitage Hotel in Beverly Hills, because that's where they were having a lot of their hotel nights. That's Diddy, when he turned into Brother Love, he rebranded freak-offs and put it in hotel nights. But they said they were having all that stuff at the La Armitage in Beverly Hills. That lets me know that I know
Johnson,
people in La Armitage got some stories to sell. I will say they are discreet because they still haven't opened their mouth. Dorothy Martin said, what's done in the dark always comes to light. Exactly, but here's another thing. Diddy's team is ridiculous. They are trying to pin this as it's just personal life. When you hear her stories, there is not a woman on earth that will consistently let her body be abused like that.
Hold on. Tessa, are you sure? All right, hold up. Because there are different forms of the A word. I know women that strip every single day. They allow men to touch them, rub on them, smack their ass. They naked. Hey, I know women who've been stripping for 10 years. I know women that do things behind those doors in the dance room. I know what they do. I know what they do. Now you got chicks out here selling themselves. People, why is she acting like prostitution isn't the oldest profession in the world? It's the oldest profession in the world. Why is she acting like this is something brand new? Like, we just discovered that women can sell their bodies. Why are we acting brand new? Let's keep listening though.
She said that sometimes he would make her have marathons. Doesn't it mimic what Cassie says? Where the victim too said, she said that the victim said that it was a marathon where it would be one person, two person, three person. She said after the second guy, she literally had to physically go to the bathroom and throw up. And instead of letting her rest, Diddy would be like, "Yo, it's good you got it all out. Now come on, get back in there." She was not allowed to stop. She was not allowed to eat. She had no control. And she felt she had to do this, one, because she felt like she loved this man, and two, she honestly felt like she had no other choice, because Diddy did the same thing he's always done to every woman he's with. Latrice Strong, thank you so much for the super chat. Diddy, let me tell you something. Diddy does the same thing he always does with every woman. This is my opinion. He jumps into their life. He wines and dines them, right? Hey, Lisa M, how you doing? He jumps in. He wines and dines them. He got them twerking on yachts. He got them having a party. It's all this. She said in the beginning she fell in love with them because it was like passion is love making, and I was like, not from what I heard, Tootsie Roll, but maybe he gave really, really good hugs, right? Liz King said, I'm disgusted by it all.
You see how she talks down about this? You see what I'm saying?
On other news, thanks for keeping us updated. Thank you so much. And Willette Smith said, I be here ready for when you come on. Sean used her slow, yes, and was like the money he gave her before he was getting it back. Exactly. But isn't that what he did with Cassie too? Hear me out on this, right? Diddy is that type, it's that Detroit pimp shit, right? That's the only way I can describe it. He came in on his stuff, right? The lover boy. He literally bought everything, this and that, throwing money up. He's getting you used to the lifestyle. Say what you want, who doesn't want to be comfortable? He's getting you to this. He comes in, the man of my dreams. He's kind, he's loving, he's respectful. He only wants it to be me and him. He's in my face.
Hold on. People, y'all missing something she's saying. Ready? Oh my God, the man of my dreams is coming to my life, and he's like, ay, Dios mío, papi, ay, the cake, ay, que rico, ay, papi. Ready? Why is she overlooking the fact that her girlfriend dated Diddy? How is Diddy the man of your life if your girlfriend dated Diddy? Oh, same thing to Cassie. No. How about this? When are we gonna blame the women? People, listen. Cassie was with Ryan Leslie, left Ryan for Diddy. Whose fault is that? The common denominator is Cassie. When it comes to Jane Doe, her girlfriend was dating Diddy, and then she's dating Diddy. Who's the common denominator? Jane Doe. Am I the only person that's understanding this here, people? All right, don't worry about that. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this now, right? Let's go. Let's jump to her next video, right here. To the afternoon. Once again, I'm not attacking Tissa Tails. I'm attacking her arguments. I am like the defense attorney because she wants to be the prosecution.
This channel, I don't care.
Hit the like button, y'all.
I will turn the chat off if anybody even tries to guess who Jane Doe is. I've said it once and I've said it again. She was never a public-facing girlfriend. No one knows who she is, which is why you guys will be gagged, because if you actually saw who she is, nobody would actually know. She is not a public-facing girlfriend.
Appreciate that, man.
But even on that, I can't have guessing on my channel due to the judge's orders. So, as much as I love you guys, if you try to put it in a super chat, your guess, I will have to block you. If you are in the chat guessing who the victim is, I will have to block you. At the end of the day, it really doesn't matter who it is, because she is telling us her tea already. That's all we need to know. You guys, so much happened in the courtroom. Let's get into it. What is the showdown? Baby, when I say, let me just say this, right? When I say the prosecution did this thing, ask any legal expert. They got him. They got him. They got him. They got Diddy. No, hear me out.
People, she does this every single day. They got him. They got him. They got him, y'all. They got him. Every single day, she says they got him. And then I show you videos that contradict everything she says. People, she has an audience to attend to. They got him. So they all sitting there like, yes, this is it, yes. People, if Diddy walks free, I'm gonna fly into New York. I wanna be there when Diddy get out. I wanna be right there when Diddy walks out. I'm gonna buy a fucking boombox, and I'm gonna play You can hate me now, but I won't stop now. I'm like, yo, Diddy, free Diddy, babe. Listen, like I said, for me, it doesn't matter either way. I'm not with Diddy. I'm not with the prosecution. But I don't like how they doing this, man. I do not like how they doing this, man. I don't like how they are giving I've never seen a one-man RICO in my life. They are disregarding everybody's crimes, if you want to call it that, just to take one man down. I don't respect it. I don't respect what they're trying to do. But now let's keep listening, though.
I want to say this, right? In order to get Diddy, you don't need a season of Taken. For sex trafficking, I think you just need one count. For RICO, you just need 2 predicate acts. Predicate acts are 2 criminal acts. It could be arson, it could be bribery, could be robbery, could be kidnapping, could be sex trafficking. One person is enough. Low-key, Cassie proved the sex trafficking and the RICO with Kid Cudi and Capricorn Clark. Victim?
You see how she's lying? She didn't prove people. Wait until I get the next video. The next video, I want y'all to hear the sensationalizing. This is why you subscribe to my channel. Shout out to the 158 in the live stream. If y'all new here, subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, turn notifications. Cause over here we keep it 1,000. We not sensationalizing nothing over here.
What did she prove? She is also another count of sex trafficking, but let's talk about those RICO predicate acts. She proves the drug, smuggling, handling, what do you call it? Whatever it does. Now let's get into this, right? Listen.
Go and ask anyone on my team. They'll all say the same thing. Monday CRM makes them better at their job, and they're closing more deals than ever.
Yep, I agree. Sorry. Anyway, y'all, let's get into this. Let me pull out my notes. Yes, I will be in the courtroom bright and early on Monday. Don't forget to catch me on I filmed something very special today. Publix 11, make sure that Dissecting Diddy, I am giving correspondence on there. ABC Live, shout out to ABC, you know the link is in the bio. Let's also not forget Nightline. So ABC Live, Burden of Proof, yes, Nightline.
Now you guys do know all the stations she's mentioning, they're biased against Diddy. She will never admit that Cassie's guilty, never. But listen.
Why can't I talk? Nightline is in there. Also, don't forget, if you guys are fans of Nancy Grace, make sure you guys tune in Monday, because there might be a certain someone you know. Okay, y'all, let me get to this, all right? But I do really want to thank you guys. Let's get into what actually happened in court. It was a super. Listen. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care. Y'all can say that girl was working. Y'all can say whatever. All I heard was RICO. Even when he said that they were literally using her as a mule. What? First of all, I do want to say this.
You see, people, hear me. I could be in a room, say the same thing to 3 different people, and they all will walk away to their people and come back, and I will have 3 different stories. All I heard was RICO. Okay, so let's go. All she heard was RICO, right? Okay, hold on, y'all. Hold on. Where is it at? Right here. Remember, all she heard was RICO, right? RICO, okay.
Alleged victims, videos, photos, texts, emails, 4 weeks into testimony in the Sean Diddy Combs sex crimes trial. Who's winning? Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber.
Shout out to Sidebar, man.
So
Fair
I kind of
use.
wanted to do this midway assessment of where are we in the Sean Diddy Combs criminal trial. There has been a lot that has been going on. This is the man accused, by the way, of engaging in racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, transportation, to engage in prostitution, 5 charges, that he allegedly engaged in a pattern of abuse and sexual exploitation of women, that he used his business resources and employees and associates to commit crimes, cover them up, that he operated this criminal enterprise, that he used force, fraud, coercion to cause at least 2 women, Cassie Ventura Fine and Jane, pseudonym, to engage in non-consensual freak-offs, sex workers being used for prostitution, a video of him appearing to beat up Cassie, the testimony of Kid Cudi supporting the allegation that Combs blew up his car, arson, a hotel worker claiming Combs paid $100,000 for surveillance footage of an apparent attack on Cassie, bribery. These are all underlying crimes for racketeering. One woman testifying that Combs dangled her off a 17th-story balcony. Another woman claiming Combs kidnapped her with a gun. But defense attorneys grilling these alleged victims and witnesses about inconsistent statements, financial...
I do want to say this. One thing Tissa Tails always says is this. I think it's disgusting the tactics that the defense is using. Like, I understand that you have to prove your case, but where is the ethics? Where is the ethic? Where is the humanity? Where is the humanity? Is Diddy not on trial and everybody's like swarming up against Diddy, and she's like, where's the ethics? Where's the respect for the people on the stand? Fuck the people on the stand. You trying to take my client down, so you want to make him look bad, I can make you look worse. Like people. Like people, what is ethical about somebody taking a plea deal? Somebody taking immunity to just take down one man. So hold on. So where's the integrity in that? Everybody gets immunity as long as we get Diddy. Where is the dignity? Where's the integrity? Where is the humanitarian in these prosecutors? Where? But people want to sit here and be like, it's so unethical the way they're doing it. Like, are you really a victim because of the money? Like, it's such a shame. They should be ashamed of themselves. So the prosecution shouldn't be ashamed of themselves neither? Come on, y'all. Come on, man. This is crazy. It's because they want the defense to play fair while the prosecution is playing dirty. All the gloves is off. All the gloves is off. Yeah, great lawyers are not soft. Facts.
Financial motivations, and maybe most importantly, messages and social media posts that allegedly show them trying to stay in touch with Sean Combs, or speaking highly of him, or showing their willing participation in sexual activities. The idea they could have left, but didn't. So there is a lot here. So I ask, who is winning right now as we are at the midway point in this trial? I'm not going to answer that question alone. You don't just want to hear from me for 25 minutes. No, let me bring on trial attorney, litigator, best socks in the business, Rich Schoenstein. Good to see you, Rich. Thank you so much. And for people who don't know, you just got off the live show with me that we do on YouTube and been so generous to come here on Sidebar. So appreciate it.
Well, I'm always glad to be here. Very interesting case to talk about.
Because I want y'all to listen.
So with the caveat that we have no idea what the jury is thinking, with the caveat that the defense hasn't even begun their case yet, who's winning this?
Well, the prosecution is winning. And you would hope that the prosecution would be winning. We're deep into the government's case right now. They've put on their most important witness. They almost virtually led off with their most important witness. And they've shown really 2 things, if I would break it down. One is they have demonstrated really beyond dispute that he's a bad guy. He's a bad guy. He beats up his longtime girlfriend. He beats up other people. He blows up cars. He dangles people off the balcony. He operates through threats and intimidation. And
once again, they keep saying he blows up cars, but nobody's saying alleged. Because according to the forensics, the DNA on the car bombing was of a female. I'm gonna let him talk.
And bribery. He is a bad guy. I don't think you can dispute that. I think the defense virtually concedes that in the opening statement. I mean, they do concede that he's done bad things, but he's done too many bad things. He is a bad guy. And the second thing is, I think the government has shown enough evidence of the various elements of the various crimes charged that they can proceed on all of those claims to a jury. Remember, a judge will hear directed verdict motions at the end of the government's case, and if there's not sufficient evidence, you don't get a cause of action, you don't get a claim to the jury. I think everything will go to the jury.
Meaning the defense at the end of the prosecution's case can be like, after everything you heard, Judge, there's nothing for the jury to decide. This case should be dismissed. That's not going to happen.
Well, yeah.
There's enough there for the jury to decide. There's questions of fact.
Right, and it's a little more complicated here. I mean, that happens all the time in criminal prosecutions, and those motions are always denied. There are very technical elements of this RICO count.
Right.
You have to prove a RICO enterprise, you have to prove conspiracy, you have to prove predicate acts. I think the government's done that. I don't think any of that's going to block it from going to the jury.
Let's talk about that. That's what I want to talk about, if they've met those elements. Hey, everybody, this is another law and crime legal alert. Did you know that?
Now, I wanted to try to hear the beginning of that, because then I wanted to go here. Pay attention. This is what they said. Listen. Now, sidebar again. Diddy's jurors appear to be taking rapper's side. Court experts say, listen. See, this is why y'all gotta subscribe to the channel, hit the notification, because at nighttime I bring you a different spin of this. But let's keep listening.
Week 4 of Sean Diddy Combs' racketeering and sex trafficking trial is wrapping up. There has been disturbing testimony from more than a dozen witnesses. Jurors have seen graphic images and videos, sex tapes, alleged injuries. There have been controversial text messages that have come into play. But with no cameras in the courtroom, no audio equipment in the courtroom, what exactly is the vibe? What's the mood like? How have the witnesses been reacting on the stand? And by the way, are the jurors' reactions and facial expressions signaling they may be siding with the defense? We're getting the inside scoop. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Hey everybody, this is another Law and Crime.
Struggling to get started on your novel?
Appreciate
Meet
that.
Squibbler, the AI novel writer that transforms.
What the heck just happened? Here it goes.
It was so I'll go back to the question about the admonition.
Here it goes. That was weird.
Disparities. He's definitely
they don't want me to show this to you, y'all.
In the past 2 years than maybe he's been in the last 5 years. And all eyes have been on the federal courthouse out in Manhattan. But really, just the outside of it. Because as we know, as much as we would like to be a fly on the wall of Judge Arun Subramanian's courtroom, cameras, audio equipment, recording devices, they aren't allowed in federal court. So the best that we can see about what's happening is live reporting, sketches, and our great reporting from Elizabeth Milner. But it is down to these reporters in the gallery to bring us these latest updates, okay? Now, before I bring in one of the reporters who's not only in the courtroom, but has the ability to post in real time, it's an amazing asset for us, I gotta quickly get you caught up to speed on what has been happening over the last...
It's crazy It's crazy, y'all, how the inner city press, the white gentleman, he's the only person allowed to be on social media. Everybody gotta keep their phones outside. This nigga must have pull. This is the man. This is the man you're gonna hear.
Last couple of days in court. So yesterday, Thursday, we heard from two important witnesses. We heard the continued testimony of Brianna Bangolan, the woman who claims that Combs dangled her off a balcony in a violent episode, and a woman identified only as Jane. Now, according to prosecutors, Jane is another alleged sex trafficking victim. She is victim 2 in the indictment. Apparently found herself in a very similar situation to Combs' ex-girlfriend Cassie, who is the state's star witness. Cassie had testified that she'd been in a relationship
Hit
with
the like
Combs,
button, y'all. Appreciate y'all.
Participate in freak-offs, these elaborate sexual performances she said she would have to do with sex workers, with Combs often directing them on what he wanted to do while he pleasured himself. Sorry, that's what we're dealing with here. And aside from whether prostitution was legal, wherever this freak-off was apparently taking place, none of that is necessarily illegal, okay? It's whether force, fraud, or coercion was used. Again,
are you listening? You see, listen, Linda. It's whether force, coercion was used. People, I just showed you that Diddy, a chick negotiated with Diddy the price per month when she got back home. After the first time her and Diddy got together, she slept with him for 5 days straight.
Putting aside whether illegal sex work, prostitution was a part of it. And Jane, who was described during the prosecution's opening statement as a single mom who fell in love with Combs but was then forced to perform in similar episodes.
You see how they spin it? Single mom. She's a single mom. She's a single mom that was offered $10,000 from Diddy, but instead of her taking the $10,000 and taking 5 and go live in a nice place and save the other 5 to have money aside for her child, she just wanted to get a $10,000 place to rent every single month where she could live. Make it make sense. She's a single mom, but she was able to disappear and vanish with Diddy for 11 days straight. But she's a single mom. You're right. Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Based on her testimony right now, does it support the transportation to engage in prostitution charges, right? Was she flown to different areas to perform sex acts with sex workers? There's an argument that it supports that. But does her testimony as of right now, and there's a lot more she's going to get into, does it support sex trafficking? Maybe, maybe not. Right now, you haven't heard the force element or the fraud element. You have heard a little bit of financial control, which may go to coercion, but not maybe what you need to get a conviction. Let me talk about this for a second. So according to her testimony, Jane met Combs briefly around a decade ago at an event, was accompanied by a friend who was dating Combs on a trip down to Miami in 2020. Now, Jane says that she was flirty with Combs, but he was actually dating her friends, so she kind of, kept her distance. But soon, her friends started seeing somebody else, so Jane felt more comfortable texting him and planning trips. Now, the prosecutor asked Jane about their early relationship, which began in 2021, and it seemed much like any other relationship. The two sent messages, they called each other, they even had nicknames for each other. Jane was asked what she called Combs: Sean, Baby, Ernie, Snookums. Why did you call him Ernie? Because that was our nickname for one another. So who are you? Bert. And who was he? Ernie. Like from Sesame Street? Yes. Jane told the court that she knew Combs was dating other women as well and that they had to keep their relationship a secret, but says she didn't mind. She was...
Hold on. Did you hear it? Did you...
You will never procrastinate again.
I'm gonna say this again.
Because psychologists have recently discovered that
there's
the real
no
reason why you
coercion.
procrastinate.
That she
People
knew Combs was dating other women as well, and that they had to keep their relationship a secret because
she knew Diddy was dating other women. Where is the coercion? Where's the bribery? Where people? I can't be the only one that seems to understand what's happening here. Let's keep listening.
she didn't mind. She was head over heels for Combs.
You will never procrastinate again once you
being head over heels for Combs don't mean
psychologists
shit.
have recently discovered that the
I don't
real
mean a
reason
damn
why you
thing.
And in a shocking twist, we learned that while they had taken several breaks during the relationship, she was still seeing him all the way up until last fall when the NYPD took him into custody, which could be a problem for her credibility now saying that she's a victim of sex trafficking. The court transcript reads, how long did your dating relationship with Sean last? Until his arrest. Do you know when he was arrested? I think it was August of 2024. Are you estimating? Yes. But did your relationship last through 2024? Yes. Now, Jane testified that Combs was always in charge. It was Combs who decided when they would see each other, where they would see each other. Combs who decided what drugs to take and when. Combs who sent her large sums of money and gifts. And she basically said she felt pampered and very in love. And Jane said there was one night when she and Combs, they had apparently taken drugs together, they were watching pornography, and Combs was asking her about her fantasies and whether she would be willing to try other things like having sex with other men while Combs watched. And when she seemed kind of on board with that, Combs allegedly told her that he could make it happen that very night. The transcript reads, quote, and when you got to the hotel room a couple hours after Sean had been on his phone, what did you see in the hotel room? I saw the assistant setting up this room. There was beverages, the lights were already red. There was just kind of like a bustle of getting this room ready. Do you remember what assistants were setting up the room? I don't. After the assistant set up the room, who was left in the room? It was me and Sean in the bedroom talking. And what did Sean say to you in the bedroom? He just told me that there's somebody coming and just to relax and that this would be something fun, and he knows the guy and he's a really nice guy, and I was just super nervous and just listening to him. When Sean said that he knows the guy, what guy did you understand Sean was referring to? I figured he was referring to this fantasy guy that was coming. So what did you understand Sean was telling you was about to happen? That sexual things were going to start happening. Between who? Myself and this guy. Had you met this guy before? No. Did you even know his name at this point? No. What do you, and did Sean tell you where he knew this guy from? No. But did he tell you he already knew the guy? Yes. An escort named Don from the escort service Cowboys and Angels came to the hotel room. While Jane says she was nervous about the whole thing at first, she eventually started to relent and maybe enjoyed herself. She says Combs directed her and Don the whole time. And then when Don had, finished, he left. Jane and Combs had sex. She says he seemed really happy, which made her happy. But little did she know, according to her, this wasn't a one-time thing. She told the court, quote, I just took that as a night that we just did something so crazy, taboo, and fun and sexy. What did you think about whether you would do that again? I didn't think we would be doing that again like that. What do you mean? I mean that after that night, I figured it was just something that we did that one time, and maybe on a random other night, maybe we would do it again, just something taboo. How, if at all, did your relationship with Sean change after that? After that night, I truly felt that night just opened like a Pandora's box in our relationship. It just completely set the tone for our relationship moving forward. Now, direct examination of Jane continues Friday, and between that and cross-examination by the defense, Jane could very well be on the stand for quite some time into next week. So to talk some more about the latest testimony and what we can't see in that courtroom, because there are no cameras, there's no audio recording devices, but we got the next best thing, because anybody who's been following this case knows Matthew Russell Lee, the man behind Inner City Press, this X account, who has special permission to basically post live from inside the courtroom. Matthew has been doing an incredible service for everybody who wants to follow up-to-date, real-time updates in that courtroom. Matthew, thank you so much for taking the time to come here right before court. I always appreciate it.
Totally. I'm glad to be here, and I do want to say, especially given some...
So this guy is the only guy who's able to report live from the courtroom. This nigga knows somebody. This nigga here, He's the one with inner city press. The transcripts that everybody is using, they're using his. For those who don't know who this guy is, shout out to the subscribers, man. Thank you guys so much. I truly appreciate y'all, man. Real talk. We're just listening right now to, and I want y'all guys hear some things. Let's keep rocking and rolling.
Especially given some turmoil in Washington, that we're on blue sky as well.
Wow. What else? Is there a fight happening I don't know about? No,
it might be over by this afternoon.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Okay, I have to ask you about Jane's testimony. So this is alleged victim number 2. This was arguably the second most important witness in this case behind Cassandra Ventura, alleged victim number 1. How is she doing on the stand? What are we not seeing? Because I have to tell you, and I was mentioning this to Elizabeth Milner, our reporter, yesterday, there were parts of her testimony that seemed to support the transportation to engage in prostitution charge, namely that she would be transported to different areas by Combs and his staff for purposes of sex work. I'm not getting sex trafficking. There's a little bit of maybe financial control, but I'm very curious how she's doing on the stand. Like, is she getting emotional? Are the jurors responding to her? Does she seem credible? What are we not seeing?
I have to say, I too am wondering whether it's going to be 2 more days, or at least 1 more full day and a partial day of testimony. So maybe they're holding back. But I agree, it's different. She's also the 3rd victim. There was Mia, who was a victim of violent. She alleged at least several incidents of violent assault. So I'm reminding myself.
But they tore Mia to shreds. Mia was probably one of the worst people to get up there, and damn sure the other girl, Bonga, those 2 women were horrible on the stand. But let's keep listening.
That's in the mix as well. I can't tell you that much about the jurors' faces, except to say that I think the prosecution and the judge are concerned that some jurors are going pro Diddy, and he's not only nodding at the jurors, but the jurors may be nodding at him. No one can prove it, but yesterday, as you may have seen, there was a big admonition to Diddy to stop nodding at the jurors. To me, that was the biggest jury story yesterday, because it was on the record. It's not speculation. It's not like reading people's faces.
Let's talk about that, right? So the judge basically said,
I'm trying to stay away from Jane because we can't say who he is, and that's
I understand. You're limited in what you can say about Jane, so maybe I'll move away from that. Let me ask you this.
Now I will say this, people. When I was in court for kidnapping, right? Hear me. Whenever my lawyer would speak and I knew he was right, I would be like, I would nod my head, and my lawyer would touch me and be like, he'll be like, something like this. Yo, don't move a fucking muscle. Sit there, stonewalled, look at the fucking table, and don't move. Straight up, gangster. Straight up gangster. He's like, bro, you don't want to show no emotion. You don't want to show nothing, because you want it to be where, remember, when people are looking at you, you're looking at them. And Diddy's sitting there, and listen, for the judge to now feel like there are some people on the jury who's pro Diddy. Let's keep listening. I'm gonna say it again, people. We have to also understand that there's something called the human element that you cannot take out of the jury. Some people can see what's happening to Diddy. He's being railroaded. He's being sideswiped for something that really has nothing to do with the trial. And people tend to not like that. But let's keep listening.
You get back to that,
let me ask you this. So the judge basically admonished Combs and told Mark Agnifilo, his defense attorney, he's nodding at the jury. It's not allowed. Either I will give an instruction to this jury that you will not like, or I will kick him out of the courtroom. And really the big concern is anybody who tries to influence a jury, it's problematic. But for him, he's been accused of intimidating people for the last 4 weeks. That's the crux of the case. So it's particularly problematic. What did you see him doing this?
See, I've seen people say that this is about juror intimidation. I don't think that's what it is. I think it's a kind of like high five. It's a kind of a visual high five. Like when the witness, as we haven't talked about this other kind of shaky witness, Bana Bangalan, who testified over the last.
See, shaky. See, shaky witness. Let's keep going.
And the cross-examination by Nicole Westmoreland was devastating, I thought. Beyond just this sort of gotcha moment that he may not have been in town in Los Angeles when he allegedly dangled her off the balcony. Instead, he was at the Trump International Hotel having a $280 breakfast. It was during this testimony, right after that, that the judge made his admonition. And my understanding of it is, I'll say this having seen it, there were jurors who, if you were willing to take a leap and describe somebody's mind by the expression you see on their face, were highly dubious, or even there were some laugh, not laugh out loud because that would be inappropriate, but there were some real gotcha moments that Westmoreland was able to draw out of. She kept saying things like, she said, "Are you lying?" And she said, "Can you repeat the question?" Or, "I can't embrace that entire sentence." She was so evasive. And it is true, questions are tricky, and Nicole Westmoreland is, I'm going to give her the award so far, other than Alexander Shapiro, as the best lawyer in the case. Because every time she stepped up to the plate, the witness has been like, oh God, make it stop. Because, and which I think is what you're supposed to do. I don't think it's not a popularity contest, as somebody said. And I think it was so I'll go back to the question.
And you see, this is why people like Tissa was like, this is a shame the way the defense attorneys are coming at these people. Like they're making it uncomfortable for people to want to testify. But the judge is like, I'm not seeing nothing. I'm not seeing no aggression. I'm not seeing the defense doing anything. The defense is doing their job. They're gonna make the person uncomfortable who decides to testify against Diddy. So they're doing their job. You can't blame the defense attorney because they're so good at their job. Look how good they're doing their job. Why are they doing this for? Why? It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that in court. You feel what I'm saying? So yeah, that lady's making everybody uncomfortable. It happens.
Back to the question about the admonition. It really was more in the nature of Combs is there, staring at the juror, out of the side-eyeing. I mean, he's trying to figure out whether he's going to be in jail for life or back on the beat, so to speak. And if you see jurors kind of being like, what? Then you're like, yeah. You see what I mean? And so the idea is that it's creating this kind of like court within a court in which all he needs is one. And he may have one. I don't want to get into, we're also constrained.
People, all Diddy needs is one juror to say, they ain't got nothing on them. They ain't got. And I understand that if Diddy's sitting there, when the cross-examine comes, like the same way how when Kid Cudi, when they did the cross-examine, they got Cudi out of there real fast after this one question. The defense was like, so did you know at the car bombing site they did forensics? Are you aware of that? Yes. Are you aware that the DNA found was of a woman? They said, huh? Yeah, it was a woman. Objection. And they got him out of there quick. He didn't know. He was like, so Diddy's like, the jury was like, yo, this is crazy. See, the defense is doing their job, y'all. We cannot penalize the defense for doing a good job. That's what they're getting paid for. But let's keep listening.
It's an anonymous jury, so they said to us, be very careful. Don't describe. I sort of don't know. I mean, the CNNs and New York Times of the world can.
Let me ask you this.
Please.
What, without getting into specific jurors, a couple parts here. Number one, yes, it was devastating testimony, devastating cross-examination, because there's everything from that she was confronted with a text message that she wanted to buy Diddy a sweatshirt 2 weeks after he.
People, if I have to be honest, like I said from day one, everybody that took the stand against Diddy got their ass toe up. The only person that kind of had a chance was Cassie. But when Kid Cudi went up there, Kid Cudi messed up when the defense said, so pretty much Cassie was playing the both of you. And he was like, yeah, she was. Diddy's like, and the jury's like, oh. Everybody that touched the stand made Cassie look like shit. Horrible.
Allegedly dangled her off a balcony. The metadata of the photos of her injuries would suggest the photos were taken, before this alleged event happened. You talk about the travel receipts. You're saying that there were jurors who had, at least facially, they seemed skeptical of her testimony, or they might have been.
I would say I think so. I think they were, but of course, you can't prove that. But I think my interpretation of the admonition is that Diddy himself interprets their reactions in that way, and is trying to zero in on them with a sort of like, yeah. I mean, you could imagine if you allowed it, and I don't know if the remedy is to bar somebody from the courtroom. It's extreme. There is a federal rule of criminal procedure that allows it. It goes back to like the Chicago 7. Can you like tie somebody up with duct tape and make a mockery of the proceeding, but they can't speak? I mean, if a defendant was openly high-fiving with jurors, it would be a problem. It becomes more. The judge doesn't think this is subtle. The judge says, I've observed it, and it has to stop. And Agnifilo said it's going to stop. And I could imagine if there's a juror that's already showing by facial expression that like, what? I've covered the Weinstein trial. It's the same thing. You read, people are always in the Trump trial. They were like, we think that's a MAGA juror, because the guy's face would light up when Stormy Daniels was made to look bad. And so the difference between that trial and this, Trump really doesn't really look at the jurors, or he's just in his own world.
It's the same way when I keep using this example, y'all, because it's part of the case. It's the same way when that lady came up, the Dr. Hughes, and she was speaking about victims and all of this stuff and everything about victims and victims and victims. And when Stern came up there and said, I noticed that you never testify on behalf of the men. On the stand, she publicly said, I don't speak on behalf of offenders. People, they said the whole courtroom got quiet for like 3 minutes. People were like, she didn't just say that, right? Like, people were saying the courtroom, you could hear a fucking mouse piss on cotton. It was so quiet in the courtroom. People were like, did she just say that on the stand? She publicly just said all men are offenders. The jurors were like, there's 8 guys on the jury. So she's saying that even the 8 guys on the jury stand are offenders. If that lady works any other case, I'd be shocked. They may never use her again. She lost all credibility after that. So you sit there and you say, you don't speak on behalf of offenders? Wow. Talk about throw every man under the bus. God, dog.
His own world, as like a dinosaur at the defense table. Diddy is in the entertainment business, right? He knows how an audience reacts, and you're looking at the audience and you're seeing people nodding at sometimes and not at others, or paying more attention at sometimes and not at others. And you're also factoring in, sad to say, the racial composition, the sort of your assumption of whether somebody can relate to you. Testimony has gone in that For example, from the CFO guy, you may have, I mean, I'm sure this is probably days ago for you. It's weeks ago for me. That feels like Roger, Derek Ferguson, the CFO. The defense managed to draw out that he went to work for Diddy's empire because it was good for African Americans. He grew up in the Bronx. This was a company that was hiring our people in high positions. And so if you're a juror that believes in civil rights and the movement and the community, this testimony is speaking to you, and Diddy nodding at you during the testimony is definitely working for you.
Now let's be clear. He said it ain't my. Oh, you mean the nah. I have the speaker up because the volume keeps going up and down. That's the only reason why I have it up. But what happens is this: we cannot cap. Diddy did do a lot. Diddy did a lot. Come on, no, I got you, Mike. Diddy did a lot for black people. Y'all don't have to believe me on this one. Listen, Diddy's whole empire was damn near black folk. All right, okay. Listen, I'm just saying. Diddy was one of the first and only pioneers to actually put people in position. Not even till this day did Jay-Z even do that. I'm just saying.
Whether that goes to the elements of RICO, I don't know. But I think this is what he's trying to stop. And it's difficult to do.
And look, we say this at the end of the day. I've covered trials, for years. It's almost impossible to know at times what the jury might be thinking or how they'll decide. We'll add that caveat. I will ask you this: there were people who said there were rumors. You mentioned Alexandra Shapiro, and you mentioned Nicole Westmoreland. I've been seeing reports that the jurors are responding quite well to Brian Steele, who's done cross-examination. Any truth to that?
Absolutely. I think it is true. I think.
So hold on, y'all. Hold on. Mike, hold on. He said he put people in position to better himself. There's nothing he did that was out of the kindness of his heart. Welcome to the world, Mike. That's all CEOs. The purpose of starting a business is to put yourself in position of power. But when you hire your people, yes, that's what I'm ready. Everybody, all CEOs, they're empowering themselves. That's the world. That's just the world. Mike said, laughing out loud. Right. That's just the world. Nobody's a CEO to say, I'm going to do. No, it's what's best for them. And then you guys with the benefit. That's just life. That's business. That's just business. That's all it is, Mike. That's all it is.
He's very. I'm sure you've seen his style in Young Thug. He's very formal. He's very he won't say swear words. He's like F. He's always like this honorable court. He has a lot of. I'm not saying quirks. It's a whole style. But he's able to turn it on and off. Against the initial security guard witness of the hotel, he was extremely harsh. He was like, "Why did you do this? Why did you do that?" So I thought he was going to be harsh throughout the trial. But he did Kid Cudi. He was the one who did the cross of Kid Cudi, and he was extremely deferential in a way, which I thought.
Now the only reason why the defense wasn't that hard on the Garcia dude, cause the Garcia dude, that nigga was singing. He's out there la 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 and do. That nigga was telling on everybody. He was like, and you you're gonna love me. That nigga was singing. Listen, the officer Garcia, he was singing. He was pointing at everybody. You're gonna go down. You're gonna go down. And you're gonna go down. And you're gonna go. Yo, yo, the defense was like, so you're admitting to these crimes? Yeah, well, I took the money and you erased it. Yes. You got rid of the proof, right? So where's the incident? Where's the incident report? There is none. Like, yo, this whole case is crumbling before the prosecution's eyes. But now let's make a little jump. Let's get to my favorite new lady in the building. Shout out to Simone, man. Shout out to Simone.
Jane got on the stand, and again, yesterday when I talked about it, I thought, okay, I am looking for information about how he was abusive to Jane, or how he tried to blackmail her with X tapes, any of that. We still haven't heard about any of that. Today she had a full day of testimony. However, it's still somewhat early because the prosecution was saying that their hope is to do a full day with her on Monday and to conclude the direct at the end of the day Monday, but they can't even promise for that. So hit that like as you come on in.
So hear me. See, this is the problem that I have though, because this lady been on the stand half of Thursday, all day Friday. Now she's gonna be there all day Monday. When the hell does the defense get to cross-examine? See, this is the problem that I have, because why isn't there a time limit? Like, look, nah, I'm giving the defense all Monday, and you had a day and a half, they're gonna get a day and a half. Could they be given and this is why the defense team gotta go so hard, because they don't have no time to cross-examine nobody. And this is what I said. This is why I said, don't be shocked if Donald Trump pardons him, because they have like 30 minutes to cross-examine. Oh, we have to get this person back on a plane. The judge should be like, fuck the plane. Pay for them to stay in a hotel another night. That's y'all business. Y'all want to cross-examine for 3 weeks? They get 3 weeks. The judge got to step in. But don't be shocked. Don't be shocked.
So what that means is that there's still a lot that the government wants to cover. But y'all, she basically went through the relationship, and yeah, the rain is coming, so I'm gonna take cover. I can feel some sprinkles. We'll do what I can. But basically, one of the crazy things that I was shocked to learn is, so number one, I've confirmed the theory for the prosecution. Their theory is that Jane was ex-trafficked because based on coercion, not force so far, but coercion and fraud. The fraud is that he continued to promise her that, oh, this will be like that, he would take her on a trip, and that on the subsequent trip, she wouldn't have to perform in any of these pre-cops. That was a fraud. And that she stopped hanging out with her girlfriends, she stopped going to events, she stopped doing other things because those would upset him. And in turn, her expectation was that he would then, not require her to do these every single time. Now, it's not clear if her expectation is that he would then not require her to do them at all, or maybe there would be a bigger mix of like quality time. But the gist of what she talked about, so I was really shocked that they're gonna add in an additional ex-trafficking charge based on fraud, with the fraud being that basically she found out that one of his other girlfriends, he took her, Young Miami, he took her on a trip for her birthday, rented a villa, got a private jet, invited all her homegirls, and she literally, her birthday was somewhere around that time, and for her birthday, he did like hardly anything. He basically just got a hotel room and had her.
So the fuck, oh my gosh, what the fuck is happening? So people, so they're trying to say Diddy frauded her because he did it big For Young Miami's birthday and for hers, he did something simple. He said this is the Twilight Zone. People, is this really the argument that we having? People, no, seriously. Are you telling me this is their basis to get Diddy? Well, Diddy frauded her because Young Miami had a bigger birthday bash than she did. This case is getting harder and harder to cover every single day. This case is getting harder and harder every day to even listen to.
And had her do an FO, had her do a freak off on her own birthday. So then she sees that, oh, sorry guys, let's do this. Put on my do not disturb. There we go. When I put on that do not disturb, then she sees that he's done so much more for Young Miami, and she literally, yes, they would describe Young Miami as his business partner. So she had become like envious of his relationship with her because he had left her and told her that, oh, he wasn't going to go do anything, he wasn't feeling well, only for her to see on social media that he's in the gym with Young Miami and somewhere else, and like she's at his house. Now, he described Young Miami, quote, as his business partner. And
I'm going to say this again. Like I said in the beginning, Diddy is practicing polygamy, but Diddy is doing it incorrectly, y'all. So now, hold on. So that means Cassie was jealous of Kim, but Gina was always there. Gina and Cassie never got along. Young Miami and Cassie didn't get along. Young Miami didn't get along with Gina. Cassie didn't get along with Gina. Then this girl, Jane, didn't get along with Young Miami. I'm going to say this again, y'all. When somebody's practicing, listen, because y'all guys don't understand how to do this. Now, y'all guys know I'm a man of y'all. I practice polygyny. I practice it the biblical way, the way it's in the Bible. But for those who are practicing polygamy, people, you either going to have all of your women in order, or they all are going to know that you have somebody else and they don't get involved with each other. You have to have control. Diddy had no control. This is why he's in the predicament he's in. But to blame one having a bigger birthday bash than the other, this is sad. What they're gonna say next? She got a Birkin and she got a Gucci bag, so that's fraud. Let's throw him in jail for RICO, cause he did. This is fucking silly, bro.
She sent a text message to him, upset, saying that not only she said you call her your business partner, you know, that's not just your business partner, that's not that, and also you throw in my face how she does things for you financially. So apparently Diddy was telling Jane about how Young Miami will buy him things, will spoil him, will do stuff for him. Well, that was really interesting to me, because it was like Young Miami in his life is providing value outside of the bedroom, right? She's got the Carisha Please show. She's got music stuff in the industry, all this different type of stuff. Whereas, and so as a result of her providing him value outside of the bedroom, he is spending time with her outside of the bedroom. Versus this woman, there's been no discussion of what she provides of value other than being drop dead gorgeous and being available to him. So it's almost like Diddy sees Jane as a sex toy and treats her like one. whereas Diddy is seeing other women in different ways. You know, at this point, Kim is past, so we can't compare that.
And I will say this, that is one thing that, yes, when men have multiple different women, yes, ladies, there are certain things, like, there are certain things. So in both wives, right? My wife here, she inspires me every day to be the best man possible, the best father possible, the best anything possible. But the other wife, she is like a burst of energy. Like the way she moves, her and the wife, they're like sisters for real. Like, they want to go to the gym together, they hanging out, they going to fucking tea time, they doing, like, this is, everybody brings something different to the table. Fellas, ladies, different women inspire different things in men. And you have to understand that. It's just how it is. Different women inspire different things in men. And then it ain't, oh, well, is it me? Am I not enough? Ladies, I'm sorry. I'm going to say this till I'm blue in the face. And fellas, I'm going to keep telling y'all this till I'm blue in the face. Tell me how this makes sense. You want your lady to be a porn star in the bedroom, but then she gotta be fucking Chef Boyardee. She gotta be fucking, what's the lady who be selling the pots at fucking Walmart and in Costco's? Who's the white lady that be having the pots and shit, y'all? What's her name? Oh, then she gotta be fucking Martha Stewart in the fucking kitchen. She gotta be fucking a porn star in the bedroom. Then she gotta be fucking Miss Claire Huxtable when it comes to the kids. Then the house gotta be fucking clean like fucking Mr. Clean. Fellas, your lady cannot be everything to you at once. It's impossible. It's impossible. Yeah, you want her to be fucking Betty Crocker, and then she's your fucking therapist, then she's fucking Dr. Phil, and then you want her to be a fucking psychic, then she has to be fucking Walter Mercado and Cleopatra. Like, fam, one woman cannot be everything at one time. Niggas laughing at me. This is crazy. Hear me. So ladies, sometimes you gotta give yourself that mental break. You cannot be everything. You cannot be everything. I'm sorry, I'm hurting some of y'all feelings. Forgive me. It is what it is. It is what it is. But you know what? Some of you women can't find a babysitter. I bet you having a sister wife would be good then, right? I bet you having that. See, this is why I said if Diddy had his house in order, everything would be sweet. But Diddy doesn't have his house in order. He's keeping his women apart, cool. But he's not maintaining order. Let's keep going, though. Let's keep going. I'm hurting some of y'all feelings. If y'all want to hear, if y'all want me to break down biblical polygyny, we'll have that discussion another time. Y'all let me know if y'all guys is ready for that, because some of y'all guys are not, especially you women are not ready for that conversation, because most women don't understand what Diddy's practicing. Oh, he's cheating on all these women. No, he's practicing polygamy. But he's doing it the incorrect way. And I will always say this. For all the men who are watching, for all the powerful men who are watching, for all the men, he said women be trying to be everything, right? For all the men who are watching who make money and you're powerful, I'm going to say this one thing. The only man that I believe in my heart that should ever be practicing polygyny should be a man of God. Because all of the women should know who holds your feet to the fire. Because you're not going to hold your own feet to the fire. But if there's somebody above you that you know is going to judge you and it's a righteous judgment, that's the only time a man should be practicing polygyny, as if he's a man of Yah. He's a man of the Most High, Yahshua. And I'm going to leave it at that. We're not going to get into that right now. But we all know Diddy ain't the man of the Most High. So we're not going to get into that right now. That's a whole nother discussion. He said, no wonder why we don't have a female. We're not getting into that right now. But let's keep on. Let's keep rock. Like I said, this thing goes deep. This thing goes deep. But let's keep going.
But and treating them separately. Keep that in mind. One of the other bombshells is that Diddy was so serious about these freak-offs that at one point they were in different towns or different places, and she texted him that, hey, how about the next time I see you, we can have an all-star freak-off. He's like, well, what's that? The all-star freak-off, she was going to hire 3 or 4 of their top male hookers, right? 3 or 4 of the top hookers, the biggest schlongs, the biggest D, and they were going to have one night where it was just an all-star night, and she was just going to give it to them. She was going to give it to all of them on one night just to make him happy. She volunteered this, y'all. She volunteered this in 2023.
Wow. So hold on. Why Tissa Tails ain't saying this? Why Tissa Tails ain't saying this? Why Tissa Tails ain't saying this in none of her videos? You want to know why? Because she's a victim. She's a victim. But she's saying, I want to have the all-star. I want to have an all-star weekend with some of the biggest schlongs. And we're going to just go crazy. Okay. But none of these other YouTube channels are reporting this? Okay. Okay. He said, notice how the lawyer made Diddy respond. How... I got you.
At some point in 2023. They had started dating in 21. So as a result of, and this is going to be their first link up after they had broken up. They had broken up for about 6 weeks or so. So in that, she was coordinating that. Well, apparently she started to get cold feet. And so
oh, hold on. What do you know? Another woman who left Diddy and came back. Wow. Oh my God. People, how are you a victim if you broke up with Diddy and you came back? Do you not see how the prosecution's case is falling apart by the seams? Let's keep listening.
she was kind of walking it back. She's like, I'm tired, I'm sick. And Diddy was figuring out, and Diddy didn't want to hear nothing about it. He was not with it. Well, she said she got her cycle. She takes a picture of the toilet tissue and texts it to him to say, well, no, because he's like, F you, you're playing with my emotions, you're playing with me, X, Y, and Z. So she sends literally the tissue paper.
I started properly hydrating at night. I stopped waking up to pee so much in the middle of the night.
I gotta explain
which
this.
kills your sleep.
I gotta explain this. Come on. She must have got a call. That's what happens when you get a call.
Called, so it knocked out my call. I'm so sorry.
Told you.
So again.
So hear me. She set up this freak off and then turned around, got cold feet and said, my visitor's here. I can't do nothing. So why did you set this up? Because she got cold feet.
So literally she sends the toilet tissue to prove she's on her cycle. Then, that wasn't good enough. He's still mad. He's calling her names. So then, hours have progressed, and then she takes out her tampon, takes a photo of it, and sends it to him as proof. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. And he's still mad. There was audio where da, 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 da. Where she's upset about it, and he tells her, including he says, you need to get on your job. Get on your job, referring to her doing FOs as part of her job. He said, you need to get on your job. And that, and she wrote him back. I was proud of her for standing up for herself. She said, I've been on my job for 2.5 years. You just got on hers. Because at this point, he had just got her the house.
Nice.
And says, you know, we can just call this even. So he wrote back, even. But she said, you've been threatening me any chance you could get. And by that, she said she meant hovering about the house, guilt-tripping her about the house. So listen, so I looked up for trafficking, the definitions that refer to fraud, force, and coercion. Here, as of now, we don't have any evidence of force. Force is what they're talking about with Cassie, the beatings, the beat downs, all of that. Fraud, in order to prove fraud for trafficking, you have to show that what you promised her was a material thing to her, so material that if you hadn't promised her that, she would not then be performing the XX. That's what it is. And the government actually admitted after court, there was like a bunch of hearings, the government admitted that they are in fact trying to prove up this trafficking based on the fraud, y'all. And here's the fraud. I need to hear in the comments if you agree with this as being a form of fraud for trafficking, or how you feel the jury might receive it. The fraud is that he continued to promise her that basically they would be able to spend quality time together the next trip. The example they gave is that he then, hey, Dennis is back, say hello. Hey, Dennis. Yes, that the next trip he promised her they would go to Turks and Caicos. This is a trip to Turks and Caicos, and on that trip it would just be them, and it would be great, and it would be romantic. On the first day, that first night, he calls over a male hooker. I think it was Paul. He calls over Paul. She's not feeling it. She gets upset. She actually takes off the bracelet that he had given her that day for her birthday and throws it and says, "You just want me to be your, whore. You just want me to be your prostitute." And she's upset and she runs out. And he chases out, walks after her, finds her. She's boohooing and crying. And he's like, "Why would you embarrass me in front of Paul like that?" Mind y'all, Paul is Diddy's personal trainer. Diddy has hired his personal trainer to do these freak offs. Somebody says, is her identity protected? Yeah, I'm not allowed to say her identity. And the people in the courtroom are not allowed to reveal who she is, or we can't go back. That rule doesn't apply to anyone else. So yeah, it is gaslighting.
Trump did say that.
So Diddy then says, "How dare you embarrass me in front of Paul?" So then Paul's there for another day, and then he leaves, right? And Diddy has an attitude. They sleep in separate rooms. He's super upset. Thank you so much for this super chat. Well, let me try to put it on the screen. LTD says, has there been any mention of Carisha? Yes, there has. Yeah, I'm just talking about how Carisha came up because what happened was she was so upset. Her birthday came, and all he did was schedule a freak off. And then she subsequently sees days later that he leaves her, or whatever, days later, that he throws a huge birthday for Carisha. He rents a private jet, flies out all her friends, rents a villa, and that's what and takes her to Turks. And that broke this girl's heart. She was like, "This is all I ever wanted, la-di-da-di-da." It was upsetting to her.
People, disgruntled girlfriends is crazy. Yo, this is crazy. 'Cause they're mad. Look what he did for her. Why did he do it for me? I hate him. I fucking hate this motherfucker. Wow, this is going too far, y'all.
Yeah, and so that was super upsetting to her. And so in turn, the prosecution is now saying that was fraud. That him lying to her to get her come out on these trips, or lying to her to get her to link up, only for him to have a male escort walk into the room, was fraud sufficient to prove up as trafficking. I am shocked. Hey, I actually might need that in a second. Oh my God. My friend Dennis here, he's got an umbrella for me just in case. And I just thought to myself, you want a jury to compare what Cassie is going to, and it's not a comparison, right? Both people can be, both counts, he can be found guilty of. But my concern as an attorney is that this could really water down and create a gray area for this evidence because there's so.
What did you hear me say yet? What did you hear me say better yet on Wednesday? They are watering down this case. They are bringing Diddy's dog that passed away when he was 16. They are bringing Puffy's dancers that had issues when he was in Harvard. They are watering down this whole case. People, I can promise you, the jurors are sitting here like, can we go home now? Like, I got shit to do. I would hate to be the juror to get up in the morning. I'm like, listen, I got YouTube shit to do, man. I got some 2K to play. I got some fucking man talk to I got to talk to the men in the morning. I can't, this case is fucking, y'all niggas is covering, y'all fucking up my whole shit right now. Dead ass serious. Like, bruh. He said, what these issues got to do with the charges, bro? They are watering down. So now because Diddy didn't keep his promise, is fraud? Nigga, you know how many times I tell my wife I'm gonna fucking clean the dishes? The dishes are still there, y'all. I want y'all to know the dishes are still there. I gotta be careful because I might be committing fraud. I've been telling her for like 2 days, mamas, I got you. I'm gonna put all the dishes in the dishwasher. I've been saying that for 2 days. I gotta be careful, y'all. I might be on trial for fraud. I might be next, y'all. Listen, pray for me. Pray for me, please. Somebody pray for me, man.
Different. Now, not only are they claiming, here we go, it's a, that's not a fraud, it's just a lie. Right, so the defense is just gonna come in and say, oh, that was just a boyfriend lying to you because you were complaining about what he did for his other girlfriends. But in order for it to satisfy to be a sufficient fraud for sex trafficking, it has to be proven that it was so material to her that she would not have continued the relationship or she would not have engaged in the sex if that promise hadn't been given. The problem is she kept doing it. No, I don't think that's true. The promise is she kept doing it. And it said, wasn't Teresa part of his marketing team? Yes. Deception can be a form of fraud, but again, the problem is, well, the challenge is going to be with the jury. They have to be with it, they have to be willing to see it in that way. However, in addition, the concern is these jurors are going to be concerned like, wait a minute, could that be my son? Are we opening up a slippery slope where I'm the boyfriend and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna buy you a house if you sleep with me. I'm gonna buy you a house if you give me a threesome. And I keep promising and I don't. Is that now trafficking? Where's the gray line here?
What have you heard me say from day 2 of this trial? I said Diddy is not on trial. If the government can get away with this bullshit, no man is safe. I said this. If they let the prosecution do this sleazy, slimy, greasy shit that they doing to Diddy, if they let the government get away with this, no man is safe. I've been telling you this for 4 weeks. When are you people gonna start listening to me? like, oh shit, True did say that shit. The second, y'all better subscribe to this channel, man. People hear me, so hear me out. I'm not only speaking on this trial as a bystander. I'm speaking of this as a father to boys, as a husband to wives, as a compay to my son's godmother. I have women in my life. I have women in my family. Some of you guys out there, if y'all always hear me say, what if this was you on trial? See, if they let this slide, this is opening up a slippery slope. Like she just said. So now if my son tells his fiance, I'm gonna do XYZ, and he doesn't do it, is now can he be charged with fraud? I've been telling y'all, Diddy is not on trial. Men are on trial. Powerful men are on trial. If you a man and you not subscribed to this channel, fucking shame on you. Shame on you. Cause nobody's been here saying this from the beginning of trial. Go look at everybody's videos. No one has been saying this. I've been saying this since day 2. I've been saying Diddy's not on trial. Powerful men are on trial. Men are on trial. That's what I've been saying, and I stand by it. Because if this happens, all men better watch out. All men better watch out. Y'all better be ready. For those who have sons, good luck. This is why sometimes I don't feel like talking to y'all niggas. Because a lot of y'all guys, people, hear me out. 60% of my viewers are return viewers, and they're not subscribers. So that means that the men are watching me, but the men wouldn't subscribe to me. That's why when I start getting on my Coach Greg shit and I say, man, fuck y'all niggas. When I say fuck y'all men, go out there and do what y'all want. Now I'm going to start speaking to the niggas who make the money the same way I do. Now I'm going to speak to the niggas who get the bag. Fuck you broke niggas. I'm not protecting. Because then the minute I turn my energy into that, why are you doing this? Like, you was having man talk. No, now I'm going to sit here and talk to niggas who's ready to boss up, like Coach Greg said. But let's keep rocking and rolling. Let's get back to this case. Because a lot of y'all niggas keep watching me, but y'all won't subscribe to the channel. It's okay. Let's keep rocking and rolling, though.
Diddy just tricking. And part of what he wanted from this particular woman was this type of sex. You guys are the jury. That's why I call you that. Hit the subscribe. But secondly, they're going to try and also get to S trafficking via coercion. Now, I looked up the definition of coercion again. And there is a version of coercion where it could be considered coercion if you are threatening financial harm. It has to be substantial financial harm.
I don't understand what you said.
So, how I was like, you got to be kidding me to, for the prosecution to have this working class jury. I don't know what you said, Eric. And the question being, was him withholding the $10K a month if she did not continue to engage in these acts? Is that S trafficking? Is that sufficient coercion? That's going to be up to the jury. Someone said it could also prove a pattern. So I don't think that it's the substances that he gave her so much as the substances, of course, clouded her mind, but she agreed to take them. But the question is, do you feel that someone, that your boyfriend saying, if you don't want to have sex with me in this way that I would like to have sex, and I therefore want to break up with you and won't pay your bills but for 3 more months. See, I think the challenge, one of the challenges is that, but it says 3 more months. Yep. So does that take away the financial harm, right? It's going to give her 3 months to then find her some other way to pay or move or any of that. And it was initially a 2-year.
Right. See, Diddy's smart. Look, if you're not trying to get down with me the way I'm getting down, then cool, we don't gotta be together. You got 3 months. See, So they can't say that Diddy's holding this over her. No, you had 3 months. Diddy gave you gracefully 3 months to walk away. 3 months to walk away. It don't sound like somebody's holding you against your will. Eric, I don't know what you saying. He said this, he says that's cap. I'm trying to bring, I don't know. I'm gonna give you 3 minutes to respond to that. I don't know what the hell you talking about before before I take the next step. It is what it is.
A 2-year lease. Y'all, do you know today?
I already
Diddy
asked you
is still
once,
paying
my
her
second
rent.
time asking.
He is
I don't
still
know what
paying
you're
her
saying.
rent today. Today. And in addition, she gets an additional approximately $7,000 in child support. So when you're looking at the level of coercion, right, you have to consider all of her assets. That's all relevant. So she was getting $6K a month before, and apparently, she was getting like $7K a month before and living on it some kind of way. And then now he's giving you 10 and you're saying you can't live on it. Now you're the person that chose to get the $10,000 a month rental property.
See, I'm going to say this again. Once they cross-examine this person, it's over. Because you mean to tell me that you were able to live off of the $7,000 that you were making before, but now all of a sudden you can't, it's not enough. So now you're expecting Diddy to hold you to a higher standard? Nah. No one's believing this, y'all. I promise you, nobody's believing this story. Nobody.
I don't know if that's going to get you there. So that
Right.
is not me. No, girl, stop. Chuck's love, I'm telling the truth. The jury literally is just sitting there. Some of them are not, they're not taking notes. Some of them are just sitting there. So the question was, how was she paying her rent before here? Beforehand, she was living in an apartment somewhere else and was paying it just fine. Now, he was giving her money throughout the relationship, but it wasn't on a consistent basis. She testified today that she was very grateful and happy about the $10,000 because she felt like now she was going to have basically something to show for it, that it was him making an effort. The words she specifically used, I gotta hear. That he was trying to make it up, that it was him, basically showing that he really...
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm gonna say something that may hurt some of y'all feelings. Alright, so Cap is not saying anything. He's not responding, so this is what we're gonna do. I told y'all guys, I don't play this game. I don't trust anybody who just come in here and start rambling and not back up their statement. So this is what we're gonna do. He's out of here. I don't trust her. That shit seems weird. Anyway, let's keep going. Fellas, if I'm paying for somebody's livelihood, somebody's lifestyle, people, she sounds like most of these women out here. So she expects Diddy to pay for her bills, take care of her life, but she doesn't want to comply to what his demands are. Where do they do that at? Where do they do that at? So you want me to pay for all of your bills, take care of your livelihood, but then when I tell you to do the shit that I need you to do, it's a no? I don't give a fuck who it is. I'm gonna hit her with that. You ain't gotta leave, but you gotta go right now. She got... I'm gonna hit her with that. I don't ever wanna see you again. I don't. Out of here. Out of here. I need you to go. I need you to go. Straight up.
really cared about her, and it was him making a sacrifice and contribution as well. And I thought, that's crazy. I thought, she said it would create, quote, a balance in the relationship. She said she saw it as this was him giving her something that made her feel real love. Y'all, the defense is going to tear that up. That real love to you is $10K a month. And that before you were getting $10K a month, you didn't feel that you were being loved?
Right.
Or is this now more worthwhile? Someone is saying,
See? This is a logical thinking woman. So you never felt love? So your interpretation of love is a man taking care of you. Ready, fellas? The other day I did man talk. What I told you, whenever you hear a woman, when a woman says a real man, what's a real man to you? A real man is a man who provides, who pays for my shit, who, if it's surrounding money, you already know what you're dealing with. You already know what you're dealing with. Let's keep going.
I'm confused. Sometimes she's down with it, and then other times she says she's not. I think the defense is going to highlight this.
Yep.
And cross. It's going to be challenging. Somebody says the math isn't mathing on this one.
Yep.
This was someone says it was absolutely fraud. Fraud is simply making false promises. They do have to be material promises, but it is making false promises. It says Diddy's whole thing is a romance scam. He makes the women believe he loves them to manipulate them into XX. All right, you guys are the jury. You guys get to decide. Well, hold on. So it wasn't just that. Also, I was thinking of it this way. By him buying her the house, it really benefits him too, because now he's able to save on hotels. He no longer needs to book hotels. He actually was asking her about it after he got her the house and was like, well, when's it going to be ready? Because he wanted to schedule a freak-off at the house. Now, you know, her baby daddy is going to be livid. Her baby daddy is going to get that transcript and send it directly to whatever family attorney, law attorney he has.
Child support,
so
yep.
it says, she talked about...
Because some of y'all don't know this. Some of y'all don't know. In many places, child support has changed. People, if the woman is making more money, right? And let me give you an example. If the man is making money to provide for his child, but now the woman has an additional income, they can knock down your child support. Ready? A woman getting married. You have more resources, so why would you need more child support? So when they see a woman try to get more child support because a man is making more money, but there's a husband there, the courts don't like that. I did a video on that 3 years ago on my other YouTube page. I was showing y'all that, and I said, judges don't take kind to that. Like, so you got a husband, you got a whole nother 40, 50, 60K coming in, but you want more child support from him to try to make his living situation harder. No, his shit is gonna go down. People, this is why they said her baby father is gonna take that to the court and be like, hold up, somebody just got her house and she's getting this allowance. So now they're gonna cut back on the baby father's child support. That's how it works now. People just don't know. They just don't know. But let's keep going.
You know, they basically, Diddy talked about using her house where she lives to this day for freak-offs. Someone said men make false promises all the time in relationships. Is that fraud? That's going to be the question for the jury.
Yep.
Is that fraud? Is that coercion? Y'all are asking me about Tissa. I don't know. I just came straight out the courtroom, and I'm just bringing you guys the summary.
See, people asking her about Tissa.
She talked more than once about being, you know, she would say all the time, I just wanted to make him happy. He was my lover. He was my partner. She saw them as, for her side, a monogamous relationship. Interestingly,
and she
they've done a strong job of not mentioning who her kid's father is. But there was an argument between the two of them, her and Diddy, where she told Diddy, you know, that's really messed up of you. You keep throwing up let's see, how did she say? You keep bringing up my child's father and in this argument with her. And she was like, you know, that's ridiculous. It's a low blow. So I found that interesting. Whatever that portion of the text message was, though, they actually didn't read it on the stage. They didn't read it on the stand. And then the audio says, there was audio as well, where he says, ain't nobody got time for games. You need to get on your job. You need to get on your job. I actually think that's going to be helpful towards proving up for the prosecution as trafficking, that he's referring to it as her job, as what she does. And he says, you need to get on your job. I'm doing my job. In other words, I'm paying your bills. You need to give me the sex that I want. She said, I've been on my job for 2.5 years. You just got on yours. She told him, you've been threatening me every chance you get. You guilt tripped me. You know what he told her? He told her in an audio, well, just move on. Just move on. Y'all, the defense is going to pick that up. Diddy is telling her, move on. Move on from this relationship. Hey, girlie. No problem. Thank you. Yeah, it's attorneys.
I'm going to say it again. If Diddy is telling a woman, yo, so then just move. This is the part I wanted to show you. If Diddy is saying, yo, just move on, then go find somebody else. But you're staying.
Attorney Simone Redwine on Instagram. And it's, girl, is that legal? On YouTube. Thank you. Yeah. So literally, I thought it was very interesting that they elicited the prosecution, that Diddy, they played the audio where Diddy tells the girl, just move on, just move on. She says, I can't move on and forgive you until you apologize. You keep threatening me. He said, that's not a threat, that's a promise. As in, he's not gonna talk to her anymore. So I guess the prosecution is trying to say that is a threat to stop funding her financially. And she said,
oh my God. All right. I had enough, y'all. Listen, the testimony today, y'all heard Tissa Tails say this was a bombshell. And now y'all hearing everybody else say the jury looks like they're on the side of Diddy. Who do y'all believe? Like I said, so far I haven't seen nothing that proves that Diddy should be locked up for life. I'm sorry. Once again, all parties spoken about today are innocent until proven guilty, not guilty until proven innocent. I'm not on Diddy's side. I'm not on the side of the U.S. I'm on the side of the law. And according to everything that Diddy's on trial for so far, I haven't heard anything to convict him yet. It is what it is, man. Listen, I appreciate everybody. Thank you for showing up, showing out, showing love. For all the subscribers, thank you so much. I truly appreciate y'all. Y'all already know, hit the like button. Turn on notifications, y'all. All weekend, if I hear anything about Diddy, I'm popping up. And I'll bring y'all guys the news. Y'all already know what time it is, man. True Hall of Fame. We out of here. Ya tu sabe. Wepa.